For more on the future of WhatsApp, text messaging, and how we communicate, Denmark West joins us live from New York. He is from K1 Capital Management. Welcome to Biz Asia America. Let me start with this. WhatsApp, this business model they have, was originally free, that you and I could text message each other and send pictures and so on and so forth. Then they started charging money. What's the long-term viability of that business model?
You know, that's a great question. I think that one of the things that people traditionally feel is that the market for the U.S. is moving more towards a free model for downloadable applications. I think that internationally, the value proposition associated with having SMS replacement actually probably has longer legs. I think it's probably going to be a hybrid model where over time, they're probably going to have to think about a way to lessen their antipathy and their relative anxiety around advertising and figure out how to do a model that provides a hybrid of advertising and downloads.
Well,
that you pay for.
Maybe I'm too old school for this, but I don't believe anything is ever going to be free, which means they probably have to put some sort of ads on these phones here. Does the ad-free strategy, can it work?
You know, the ad-free strategy can work, but it has, you know, two kinds of dependencies. One is you've got to be able to show a value proposition that people are willing to pay for. That tends to be challenging, but they've been able to do it so far on iOS to a pretty high degree. I think that that's challenging over time, though, especially in the United States. The second way that you can do that is if you can build a platform where you can actually layer services on top of it that people would actually pay for, you could get third-party support for. You see that more overseas, specifically in the Pacific Rim, places like Korea, Japan, China, where people will layer game services, for example, on top of a messaging application. And within the game, even if the game is free, you'll pay either for virtual items or you'll pay for the next level up, for leveling up.
The number one competitor to WhatsApp is basically the good old-fashioned old technology of SMS. Why hasn't SMS been killed off by this?
So it actually says a lot about the staying power of technologies that are tied to things that we're comfortable with as people. It's very rare that you see the type of dramatic fall off in usage that you've seen with applications like MySpace. Usually it tapers off at a much slower rate. I think that SMS, because it's something that everybody has, you don't have to worry about whether it works on somebody's phone. It's a cross-device messaging platform. So I don't need to check to see, do you have this downloaded application? I don't need to check to see, do you have this operating system? I don't need to check to see, do you have this device? It's a cross-platform play, and everybody knows how to use it. It's been around for about 20 years or so, and it's actually very, very much a part of the lexicon of young adults and pretty much everybody else.
One thing for our viewers, you know, who watch this show, they're obviously very international. They travel either throughout Asia or throughout the world, and as you know, international SMS can cost you a very significant amount. And that's where the WhatsApp advantage comes into play. You know, China is working on a thing called the WeChat, and then there's so many different platforms that essentially copies the similar concept of WhatsApp. Is the barrier to entry to this that low?
I don't think that the barrier to entry is that low. I think that very much like many other social platforms, the competition, once you have an established party, tends to be a lot more difficult. The way that it works is, just like with a social platform, you want to be on the application where your friends already are. It's the thing that made Friendster popular, then MySpace, now Facebook. It's also much more focused within a messaging context, because these are the people that you actually want to talk to, either infrequently or frequently, but these are the people that you actually want to talk to. So once your friends, your social circle is on one of these applications, it's going to probably pull you in. And to the extent that they're there, it's going to keep you there. Now, geographically, you see that there are 2 to 3 people who are popping in major markets. WhatsApp and Pinger are doing well in the United States. Line is doing well in Japan. WeChat is doing well in China. But, you know, you're starting to see that the winners are starting to separate themselves from the pack. And so the question is going to be, how do you actually compete with the people who are actually setting the standard?
Denmark West, I just hope it stays free. Thank you very much. Live from New York, K1 Capital Management. Thank you very much for helping us better understand this technology.